Hi, I'm Kitty Feldy. Last week, we took you to the Las Vegas Book Festival to talk about Nikki Shannon Smith's adventure novel called Stranded. This week, we talked to Nikki about what led her to writing and what role Oprah Winfrey played in it all. You were in the classroom as either a teacher or a principal for many years. We won't say how many.
No, we won't.
What did you learn that helped you as a writer that maybe other writers of Kidlit don't know because they ain't in the classroom?
Right. I think as we grow up, we move away from our childhood selves, and I never did that. I mean, some people might call that arrested development, but for me, it kept me very much in touch with the psyche and the development and the emotions of young children. It helped me sort of stay in touch with what they think is funny or what they think is sad, but also what they need socially and emotionally. And so that's what I tap into when I'm writing.
Well, I always say that inside of us, we're actually a different age than what we put on our, driver's license or anything else. For me, I'm a fifth grader. I know inside of me, that's the way I think emotionally. What about you?
It's so funny you would ask me that. I just had a conversation with writer friends about this recently. I think I'm actually a 10-year-old boy. Like I have the 10-year-old boy humor, sort of that outgoing 10-year-old boy who's a little impulsive, but then also kind of shy. That's me.
What did it take for you to make that transition from reading everybody else's books to writing your own?
It's daunting in a way because as a person who has spent a lifetime reading books, especially children's books, there are things you want to replicate. But I think what we don't realize when we're starting as writers is what you really want to replicate is the emotion and the response of the reader, not necessarily the words.
Well, this book reminded me, Stranded, reminded me very much of Hatchet, but from a totally different point of view.
Oh, thank you for saying that. That's been the recent comparison. It started out as one of the comps, which was a comparative title, was My Side of the Mountain. And then lately, as the book has come out, people are saying, oh, it's like for readers of Hatchet. And what's funny to me is when I read My Side of the Mountain, the first thing was, and that child's parents let him just go live in the woods alone. So it's interesting that way. But I enjoyed capturing the emotion of being stranded, and also the beauty of nature as friend and foe.
Well, I understand that you were a campfire girl, but I'm a Girl Scout, 10 years ago.
Are you really?
So talk about the relationship you have with nature.
So first I have to say we were rivals as children,
Of
right?
course
Because
we
you
were.
were selling the cookies and
Yes.
we were selling the almond roca,
Yes.
the candy.
Imagine putting children to work selling things.
Right, I know. So for nature, even though I was growing up in Oakland, my family had an element of just outdoorsiness. The family was huge. So if there was going to be a gathering, it was going to be at a park. It was going to be at one of the local lakes. So that's how it started. And then I became a campfire girl, and that's when I was hooked. I would go to sleepaway camp 2 weeks at a time. When I was old enough, I washed dishes to pay for my second week. That's how much I loved it. And so in the book, I won't give too much away, but there are things that Ava does or experiences for the first time where that was me floating in that lake. That was me wanting to hike that hill and kind of thinking, can I make it? So I did. I tapped into all of the emotions and sensory details of being outside. And my favorite thing to say is when I'm outside, I can feel my biorhythms change and stabilize. So whenever I'm off kilter, I know I need to be out in nature.
Well, you also talked about how writing filled another need you had, that something was missing in your life.
Right.
How did you nail down that it was writing?
Quite by accident. I was a very happy person. I'm a happy person. I was happy at home, happy marriage, loved being a teacher, loved being a child, but there was nothing creative, and everything I did felt like it was for someone else. So I had a day where I literally stayed home for a mental health day, and I thought about what's wrong with me? Why am I not feeling right? I won't go into a lot of detail, but there was an episode of Oprah where the outcome of the speakers was they followed their passion. And I jumped out of bed because my passion has always been books. I was the little kid who wrote stories but never imagined writing. And I went and pulled all of our favorite books from my daughter's shelf and started researching. And I knew immediately, Nikki, you're supposed to be writing.
We have interviews with dozens of other writers at our website, bookclubforkids.org, on our Writers on Writing page. I'm Kitty Feldy. Thanks so much for listening.